The last elastic modulus that we're going to look at is the bulk modulus. And again, remember that modulus is always equal to stress over strain and representing a linear relationship between an applied force or set of forces and a deformation of a material object. And in this case, the stress is actually equal to delta P, which represents a change in the pressure applied to an object. And the strain is equal to minus a change in volume over either initial, you could say, or whatever the reference volume for this is, which may or may not be, like you could say, is that the volume at zero pressure? For this one, it may or may not be, because like zero pressure is a little hard to achieve on Earth. Maybe somewhere in outer space, far enough from Earth, you get pretty close to that, or really close to that if you get far away enough. So in that sense, this may not actually be that. Why is it negative? Well, the picture for this is like if I have a solid object, so I put solid here, and this happens to be kind of a, maybe representing a spherical shape in 3 dimensions. If I have some solid, again, not hollow object made out of some material, maybe it's some metal like brass or something else, and it has pressure applied to it. Like, what would be one example of that? Well, what if I took this object and tossed it in the ocean? It gets deeper and deeper and deeper as it sinks down, perhaps. And as it does so, pressure is increasing. And in that sense, the change in pressure might represent how much more pressure is it experiencing as it goes deeper, because I dropped it into the ocean. As it does that, depending on what material it is, its volume is going to shrink. And when I say depending on what material, that affects how much its volume would shrink by, because the bulk modulus is, like the other moduli, going to be a material property. I mean, like, you know, steel would have a certain bulk modulus, brass would have a certain bulk modulus, copper would have a certain bulk modulus, and so on and so forth. And again, this minus sign, you could say it kind of tracks through here. It has to do with the fact that, you know, the volume change is actually kind of thought of as being negative, but we want the bulk modulus to have kind of a positive definition. So if we think of delta V as being negative, typically in response to a positive delta P applied to the object, this minus sign kind of makes sense within that context.